So you've just began the Crew Motorfest. And you want to go from driving to your first playlist, your first event, all the way to 100 million bucks, 30,000 prestige tickets, and almost every single car in the game. Well, if that's the case, you'll most likely have just got the game on Game Pass. Yes, well, Forza Horizon 6 is miles away, and Horizon 5 is done getting updates. The Crew Motorfest is a racing game that just got added to Game Pass. It's a direct competitor to Forza, except get this, we actually have stuff to do. So this video is for you. If you've bought the game and are incredibly confused on how everything works, let me explain. Right now, from where you are, there's one thing you can do, and that's the playlists. There is, as you can see, a lot of them. And if I zoom in more, you can see there's a lot of events in each and every playlist. And that's strictly where you want to begin. That's the progression of this game. But people tend to play these wrong. See, some people treat these playlists as if they're just supposed to be events, like they're just point A to point B driving, like racing is in some other games. But that's not what playlists are in the Crew Motorfest. In the Crew Motorfest, playlists are like a car Netflix. That's why my biggest suggestion to you, don't turn off voices immediately, don't turn off music immediately, skip all the cutscenes, because the car Netflix experience of the Crew Motorfest gameplay is the bread and butter of how the game works. It's all about experiences. They take little sections of the car niche, be that Japanese car, be that off-roading, be that Red Bull, be that hoonigan, drifting. All of the different niches are put into the sort of, if it was Netflix, a TV show style. So you go in, you watch the intro, the beginning, you drive from each event to each event, and then you told a story throughout the playlist. That is the main content of the game. The playlists then at the end unlock you side activities. This is a mix of photo opportunities where they give you a specific thing to take a photo of and you go do it, and speeds, which are the game's version of PR stunts, ranging from jumps, which you might recognize, speed traps, but then also slaloms and escapes where you go through it and have to escape the middle point you went through. Then you also get the challenges, which are pretty self-explanatory. Each one has niche challenges. You can buy the cars you'll need for the challenges over in the offers and bundles store, and then that'll give you the cars to do all these specific challenges, which you're doing them for different rewards, like money, like microtransaction currency for free, like customization items. And then finally on playlist, we have the custom mode. This is what turns the playlist into just racing. You go back, you play it in your own car now. In fact, any car. You gotta play it once in any available vehicle type it lets you play it in. Why, may you ask? Because that's what gives you the backstage passes, which lets you buy the previous competitive rewards. All of these cars in the backstage are cars that used to be locked to the summit roughly 2 updates ago. That's the weekly competitive. And once a month in the weekly competitive, you get a vehicle that you can try and win, which is what we can talk about now that we're done talking about the playlist. Eventually, whilst you're playing the playlist, you'll get enough money and cars and upgrades on each car, which I'll explain this video, don't worry. Then you can play the Summit, which is a weekly themed thing. Think of it as a weekly new playlist. It takes the events that are in the playlist. You're able to actually use your own cars. They'll just have to be locked to that week's theme. This week's being the BMW M5 CS that we got added this week. And as you can see, the artwork and the cars are instead changed to match this week's theme, German cars. You can either just play this every week for the free rewards you'll get every week, think of it as the seasonal, or you can lock in, play the events over and over again until you get the absolute fastest run, because the top 15,000 every single week get the platinum reward. And then after that, it's top 30,000 and top 60,000 and then top 60,000 and below. So you get rewards for just playing it as well, the bronze, then the silver, then the gold. And the gold will always be a free car. And if you're playing it casually, you can probably get gold. So treat that as the seasonal car. But once a month, like I said, there will be a car in platinum, and that thing will be locked to only those 15,000 players for 2 updates until it comes into the backstage pass. You don't have to wait till the end of the game's life cycle this time. for locked cars. Next to that is the PvP options. Those two you can play immediately. They will give you a free car to drive in that one race, even if you don't own the car. The Grand Race is 3 vehicles. You can see which 3 categories it is as it goes. You switch to them at 33 and 66%. People get really competitive in this, especially as now there's a rank system with ranked rewards every single update. Then the Demolition Royale is the battle royale in the game, except it's a lot better than the Eliminator. It's not just point-to-point racing. Instead, it's the Demolition Derby vehicles in-game. And it's an actual survival. And finally on this row is the custom show, which is just you go in every week, you submit your car, and then other players will be able to walk around in the HQ and vote on cars. You can do that too. And there's also the same tiers of rewards here. But speaking of cars, the only place to buy cars is the shop, the vehicle catalog. There's of course the cars that you can just buy. Some cars you get from finishing the playlists. Some cars are still in the summit until they're in the backstage. And some cars you cannot get in this game at all yet. I'll explain. But for now, the money you accumulate playing the playlist will let you buy these cars that you can use in the PvP and the open world, as well as the custom mode to get the backstage passes. Those cars, once you buy them, you then have to upgrade them. In this game, there isn't a vehicle, real-life car-style upgrading system. Instead, it's more like, think Destiny. You get a specific bigger number equal better car system. You'll get a part that is higher than your base rating, and you put it on. And then, when you drive that car, you'll get even higher rated parts, and then you put them on, until your car is upgraded to the point the top right perf level says it is completely full. Like that, 880 out of 880. And these parts give you different kind of perks, like better nitrous power, or losing less grip on the sim tire wear events. This is definitely a higher level of thing to worry about though, so I'm not going to tell you to worry about any of the rarity level of parts. You can tell to just put on the higher rarity, but switching around the perks of parts is something I'll let you figure out yourself. The only thing you got to worry about is that the best thing to do is to match up the parts. As you can see, I'm doing here to put on as many of this same part as I can. We're missing one, but we still do get like an extra deluxe bonus, the set bonus. But that only applies for the gold bonus on gold parts. Customization in the Crew Motorfest is a lot more in-depth than most other current racing games, or at least ones with licensed cars. Not only do we just get stancing, full-on mega stancing on almost every car in the entire game, but each car will actually have a very nice amount of customization, letting you make many builds. And a lot of the new cars that are added to the game, of which there are many, are also heavy on customization. To dive a bit deeper into customizations, you have not just colors, which of course then you have the standard metallic, matte, chrome, anodized, iridescent, so the specific like 2 tones that they have in the game. You then have visual parts, which is all of the body customization. All the different options you have, from wide bodying it to the rims as well, on which we have BBSs, HREs, OZs, and presumably they'll add more and more rim customizers as we go. Then we have all the way through all more body kits. Every car has so many. There are some cars with hundreds, over hundreds of different body kit options. Then, after body kits, we get vanity items. These are specific customizations like the tires smoke, nitrous, underglows, window tints, horns, audio signatures, which are essentially the engine swaps in this game, rooftop items, and interior customization. All of these are unlocked everywhere throughout the game. Some of them are microtransactions. Some of them you get in the shop, in the Vehicle Vanities shop, but there's a bunch that you just get from playing events, from doing challenges. And mostly challenges will give you stuff like engine swaps, which are the audio signatures, meaning this car, which would have whatever rally engine it normally has, I can go and pick up either a kit, which will just upgrade it, like this one, which gives it a supercharger whine or anti-lag, or I can give it a V12 if I really wanted, or a V-twin, a rotary, a V8 American. Because the game's upgrade system isn't based on real-life car stuff, this is the best way they could have done engine swaps, where the car stays as is, except the engine makes a different sound. The gearing makes different sounds. The exhaust makes different sounds. And that's really the only vanity that needs explanation. The rest of them are just you know, their customization. You just get the different ones that you can get. Be that from the microtransaction store that changes weekly, be that from the main stage, or be that from the playlists. And finally, liveries, which you can either go to the top 100, which is the most downloaded liveries by, well, everyone on that vehicle. The liveries will be better the newer the car is to the game, because the livery system was broken for a very long time. It still kind of is, but the newer vehicles are the cars on which people have sucked up the fact that the livery system is really broken, and they're just trying to make the best liveries they can. You can then also go to latest, which is below it, which is just the newest ones, and exclusive, which are just the crew's own liveries, just like default liveries. You'll see these in the playlists and summits and stuff as well. And then you can create your own livery if you really want it. But good luck with that. And the final thing here is pro settings, which are the specific aero, grip, brake balance, all of that kind of stuff. Now, if you're a mega casual, you can just come to the bottom and do this. It's a band-aid fix, but this does by default make your cars a little better. 10, 10, 0, 0. Well, 0.25, but it's in bottomed out, top. Normally, if you're actually building a car with all the stats, you'll obviously put this to a more specific number, and all of these will be changed around as well. But for casuals, you can just do this on anything with 4 wheels. Speaking of anything with 4 wheels, there's also bikes in this game. In fact, there's also quad bikes in this game, dragsters, and the like. The specs are the slow street cars, which are street tier 1, all competing against each other, on which you can use the same upgrades from the street 2. Street 2 is the faster street cars. Then we have drift cars. In this game, you don't drift regular cars, you drift the specific drift-built vehicles intended for the drift spec. The drifting in this game is a little wonky. That's because it's meant for racing while drifting, rather than just drifting. You can fix them by essentially just slamming down all the assists and taking off all of the arrows and a lot of different kind of things. Things that someone better than me can figure out. Racing is the track cars, the extreme track toys, if you will. Some of them are bespoke, built for the track, real-life track cars. Some of them are just base cars turned into racing cars by the crew team. This Bentley, not a real Bentley. Well, it is a real Bentley, but not the racing one. Dragsters are drag-built vehicles. You can tell because they'll have the wheelie bar on the back and those meaty tires. Whoa! These are specifically intended for drag races. Then the hypercars are essentially just super and hypercars. They're not just hypercars. Anything from Rimacs to McLarens to Bugattis to Mercedes AMG 1s to Porsches, all of that will be found here. F1 cars are not just real F1 cars from Red Bull, but they'll also be concept cars like the Proto vehicles, which are like a Trackmania style concept set of cars. They've even got a KTM Expo converted to an open wheel racer, and then just more concepts like Ivory Tower's custom built cars and more protos and more real life concept designs. Motocross is obviously the motocross vehicles. Rally Raid is off-roaders, not just real life Rally Raid, but anything from Land Rover Defenders, basic Toyota Tacomas, to proper trophy trucks, or cars converted into off-roaders like this Ford Focus RS. Demolition are fake cars, except the Charger, specifically fake because they have a full-fledged damage model. Parts will fall off, tires will fall off, doors will fall off. These things can get proper damaged and are in the game only really for the Demolition Royale. All of them have identical performance, so there's no meta in the Demolition Royale. Rallycross is specific rallycross cars, as well as dirt cars, which are just basic cars, but that are kind of souped up for the dirt. Not fully off-road, but more just can go a little dirt track off-road. Right next to professional rallies. Monster trucks are monster trucks. Not much else to say there. And then you have the basic boats, the planes, the helicopters, and the jets. All of those vehicles in the game are for the PvP and the open world, the custom mode, and anything that isn't directly the playlist experience. A lot of people complain that you don't use your own cars in the playlist. There's a lot else to do outside the playlist to use your own cars. The point of the playlist is that they're the car Netflix idea. They're experiences. That's why you drive the car intended for the experience. And then you're given the other car after. Quickly though, the custom mode is a grind, right? You can see this is a lot. Each and individual one of these is an event that you have to do. Each race, you have specifically that layout for the race, and then specifically that spec. So as much as you can grind these out, I wouldn't recommend it. Here's what I would recommend. The way to go into the custom mode on any event is once you finish the playlist, you can go to event settings and select custom. I would recommend against that. You could do that and grind just every spec every day throughout until you get the specific backstage car you want. But unless you're getting a specific backstage car, instead go one further to the left, or just go to the right, to the main stage. What this does is it turns any event you want in-game to whatever that current week's theme is. Be that German cars, drift cars, Audi. Last week was Mercedes. This week is all German cars, specifically the BMW M3 CS. Sometimes it's street cars. It's been monster trucks before. And when you do it in that mode, it still gives you progression. So I suggest only playing the custom mode in main stage configuration and only doing the specs you're able to. If you're not able to grind a spec, well then you're not able to. Once you finish Street 2 all in this and you can't do anything else, well then to the next one that you can do Street 2 in. You might not get something like Monster Truck done for a long time. You might not get something like Demolition done for a long time, but a week is gonna come when those are in the main stage configuration. So instead of playing them all the way through in a boring event, you play them in the main stage configuration, actually themed on that week. But all of that, everything I just mentioned, leads up to the main stage, because all of it levels you up in the main stage. See, where the summit might be our equivalent to the weekly seasonal, the monthly seasonal isn't about competing. Instead, it's about just simply XP, which you can get from just playing races on your own or with friends. You can get from competing, which is the PvP, or you can get from exploring, which is just driving around the map, doing the open world activities, doing the open world races known as the rivals. You can level up any of these, get rewards from that specific type of level up, and then once you've finished any of these, all that XP that goes to it will start going to the legend track. The overall level up of the month, that'll give you a bunch of rewards, including at level 10, a car that comes back from the Crew 2, the previous game, because that had the summit, that had exclusive cars, and now in this game, you get those cars in the main stage at level 10 as the monthly overall progression vehicle. So many different ways to get cars. In fact, there will always be a car in one of these top ones as well, completely free every month, on top of the second free car every month. And then we have another kind of like the playlist system. You may be thinking, what if I missed all those months previous, all the 2 years worth of cars that have come to the game? What if I missed all of them? Well, no need to worry, because all the way down here, after all of the stuff that's to do with the playlists, that being the challenges, the rivals, the custom mode, you then have the main stage legacy, which is essentially everything the game has ever released. This was the first month of the Crew Motorfest, when the game first came out. And what they do is every week they take 2 events from the competitive summit. Like I mentioned, events that are themed. You have to use specific cars. They can be your own, or sometimes they'll give you one. What they do is they take 2 of those at a time for each week, and then they put them in order that you can play all the way through until you then unlock whatever that month's monthly car was in the main stage, as well as an extra item sometimes with the newer ones. It's like another backstage, except instead of just grinding backstage, you actually get to play all the last updates that came out in the game as if they're another playlist, with their own intro videos as well. The game is all about themes and niches, getting the experiences that they added previously to the game on top of just the playlists. Truly one of my favorite features in the game is the main stage legacy that turns every single month and every single week. Once that month and week is over, the update after, it turns them into another playlist in that same car Netflix style. So now, go and play the playlists. Get enough money to then buy a car for the playlist that you can't play yet, because you need that car. As you play through the playlist, experience the game, the themes that the game is trying to get you to enjoy, the characters. With that money that you then get, buy some of your own cars, ones you just want to customize. There's so much customization in the game that just enjoy it. Every week, every month, play the main stage. Do the challenges that are in the main stage, and then every week, once you're done with the challenges and done with the summit, head over to custom mode, and instead of just playing it in the custom version, you also get custom mode progression through the main stage version, which turns any event in the game into that week's theme. Play the summit once like it's a playlist, and then start sweating on it. Start playing the PvP, learning the meta vehicles. Play the Battle Royale, if you must. Throw in a car in the custom show. I don't really care about the custom show. And enjoy something I didn't even bring up. The biggest map in open world racing games at the moment that's still getting updates. We get a BMW playlist in just over 1 month, and find the hidden gems on this map, like this really rich neighborhood up here that I love going to for photos, or just massive hidden areas that just like nothing ever happened. There's no events, there's no nothing. They're just fully detailed, fully realized areas that are completely unique that are just never used. And as a last cheeky plug, new things going on in the game and updates and all of that will be found here on this channel. So subscribe. If you want to know about how NASCAR is coming to the game, if you want to know how we're getting RC cars in the game, it'll all be here. That's gonna be about it from me. Thank you so much for watching. In a bit.